Hi guys, got another replay from the Go4SC2. This is of course sponsored by ESLTV. Every now and then I try and get in on it myself, but unfortunately it just seems like my role in this is basically to cast it in Chinese, but I don't know. There was only really one time that I tried to do it, and even then viewership was not quite substantial. But let me go ahead and introduce both of our players. They are both GMs. Spawning as the purple Terran in the upper left-hand corner, I give you ESCGoOdy. And in the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our Protoss in the blue trunks, his name is Impact NeverDie. Okay, it looks like they actually have someone calling out that it could be the wrong speed that the game is going at. But he says, I think it is too, but I don't care personally. Like, maybe they set the in-game speed at the wrong one, but to me it doesn't seem to be too much substantially slower. It could be, but I honestly don't know. Says, I like playing slowly. And, interesting position to put a supply depot. I do know that some Terrans like to wall off versus Protoss. Of course, versus Zerg, you basically have to if you want to ensure that you're not going to get killed by a speedling all in. But here we go, NeverDie sending out his probe, and it looks like I can't do Control-Shift-F. I don't know why that happened, but for some strange reason my Alt key was stuck on Infinite something. So when I hit Control-Shift-F, it actually brought up the frame rate instead of following this probe around. Probe does see the SCV moving out, but back to the probe. He's going to go in here and see that there is a barracks. Sorry, that is, NeverDie is going to come in here and see that there's a barracks along with a refinery. Let's just see what the first choice unit will be to crank out from Goody. If NeverDie was paying attention, he would have seen that there was not enough gas to crank out a Reaper at the moment that he had actually arrived in the base and when the barracks is finished. But let's just see what he's going to follow this up with. It looks like we have ESCGoOdy following it up with another Marine coming out. So this is possibly just going to be a kind of tech up route, if you will. It's not quite going to take an expo just yet, and we see the factory going down. I'm wondering if we're going to see a 1-1-1 kind of opener. I am also doing this to test out my new microphone. It's a SteelSeries brand one. SteelSeries Siberia. And here we go. SCV is actually getting chased out. Let's see exactly what he saw. Okay, he saw everything that's there right now. Nothing too terribly new. But of course the mothership is now out for NeverDie. I'm a little curious as to how he's going to be using it. More than likely to scout. And now the question is, are we going to see a starport going down after this factory is done? Maybe. And this would kind of be a derivative of the classic-ish 1-1-1, but no, it looks like there's just a supply depot going down for now. It's kind of, I don't know what quite to make of this just yet, but we do have Marauders in production, and this is actually quite interesting. The concussive shells are being researched before Stimpak. And I'm just a little mystified as to what this could possibly be. Of course, these three Marines will chase away the mothership core and try and keep it out of the base at the very least, but they're actually going back here to the natural location, and the mothership core is actually just going to go straight back into the base like a boss. And looks like we're going to have some early pressure coming out with... This is quite interesting. I haven't quite seen this. Three Marines, a Marauder, and a Widow Mine. This is something new. I haven't seen it before, but I'm a little curious to see just what direction it's going to go in. There is, of course, another Marauder, and I think, yes, another Widow Mine out and on the way. Widow Mine kind of burrowed over here temporarily and then just kind of picked back up. And it looks like Impact NeverDie is going to be in a bit of trouble. He can't hold this with just a Zealot and a Stalker. I think this is just a pressure, and this was an excellent timing by NeverDie at that. Excuse me, by Goody at that. And two bunkers are going down. He can't quite get the SCV. One of them is on red health. Oh, this is just a lot of trouble that we see him in right now. We do, however, fortunately see the I forget what we call that, the photon overcharge going down on the natural. Both of the bunkers get cancelled, so that's basically a pretty okay defense by NeverDie so far. Marauder is getting destroyed, and the Marauder that entered the natural is going back home. Basically he's got a story to tell his wife and kids, but looks like he's just rallied right here for now. Not quite gonna do that, and this Widow Mine is being targeted down. Let's see just how many workers he got out of this. This is only one worker. He didn't quite make it an effective one, and we see that Protoss actually took minimal losses in this engagement. Checking the worker count right now, we still see that NeverDie is significantly far ahead. Not entirely sure just how he has detection of this. Perhaps it was from the Nexus? But now we have an observer out. You know, there's just so many different ways for a Protoss to get detection today. It's actually a little mystifying. But we do have NeverDie following this up with the Twilight Council, and Goody is not quite going all in with this. That's what I liked. He did overcommit to it. He lost a lot in the way of units, and a fraction more in the way of resources. And presently, he's actually significantly far behind in the worker count. We're talking like I don't know, a quarter. He's lacking a quarter of what NeverDie has. But of course, he's taking his natural right now, and maybe the mules will be able to make up for the damage that he failed to inflict upon his opponent. We do see Goody significantly far behind at this point. Behind this, we see that NeverDie is thinking he might slightly be behind, but he didn't take a lot of losses there. I'm just a little curious as to when the last time he got some vision on his opponent was, but since he's got an observer right here to see what's going on, I think he feels relatively safe. He's going to have to move this observer in order to actually... Yes, there we go. In order to actually get a full scout on his opponent, as well as keep from losing 75 gas and 25 minerals. So smart move by him, quite respectable one at that. And with this, he sees what's going on in the mineral line. If he could open his eyes just a little bit more, there we go. It's actually what he sees, the starport now, and there's going to be a scan to take down the vision. But behind this, we actually have NeverDie taking his third. I believe Goody does not know about that, but it's okay because Goody is actually willing to take a third command center for the time being. Crank out some more SCVs after he upgrades it to an orbital command, and then more than likely take it into a third expansion. Of course, the probe is going to come here and see that there's absolutely nothing. Maybe throw down a sneaky pylon in some direction or another. That appears to be what we see here. But I'm thinking it could more than likely be a decoy one, but behind this, we actually have the Dark Spire going down. Respectable decision given the lead that he has, but he has to be extremely careful not to overcommit to DTs because, of course, Terran has so many forms of detection right now. Of course, there is an engineering bay out, and it's just hard to say. Okay, there we go. The definitive tech up. More and more factories being added on. I've seen some play recently with a lot of Hellbats and a lot of tanks going into the mix. Of course, this is easily countered if Protoss elects to go with Mass Immortal Colossus, if you will. I've seen this happen before on this very map. It is Ohana LE, so this is not quite a HOTS exclusive map, but no complaints from me. And the Hellions can come in here and maybe get 1 or 2 probe kills if it's lucky. Oh my god, beautiful surround by the probes there, but unfortunately the Hellion breaks out after killing just 1 probe. Now 2, now 3. But if we check the NCUB, we still see that, oh wow, we see that Goody, you know, the mule count is really adding up for him. He's going to be able to crank out a lot of Marines. Scan going down in the main for Goody, excuse me, on his opponent. So he does see what his opponent has. He sees that there is a Twilight Council here, but not the Dark Shrine, to the best of my knowledge. Let me double check on that. So we got 3 DTs in production right here. Of course, we're not going to see them thrown at the natural. If they're lucky, they can get a lot of kills. I'm not sure what he just killed there. But if we're lucky, we'll see them get a lot of kills on the 3rd. Oh, and this is actually a little critical. Oh, man, the missile turret got targeted down and taken down in 6 easy swipes, and now the DTs are coming to kill the tanks. Those are very critical to the mid and late game. There we go, and they're moving back to the missile turret. We actually saw 2 missile turrets go down. Or not 2 missile turrets, 2 tanks go down. And now if we see NeverDie be meticulously careful, ooh, he could have maybe gotten some SCV kills on the line there because those tanks were not in the proper position to defend them. And it looks like, interestingly enough, we have 2 Hellbats going off in that direction. I think we'll see them hit the 3rd. Let's follow this medevac for just a moment. Behind this, we see that NeverDie is tacking on more infrastructure. That means more gateways. And he's cranking out 2 Immortals at a time. He's also got +3 ground weapons already on the way. Of course, we also see that ESCGoOdy is starving for gas. He's taking double refineries at his natural, and that is a lot of pylons over here. But here we go. The medevac is about to touch down at the 3rd base of his opponent. And the Hellbats are dropped. Ouch. And now we see that is actually a significant amount of damage that was done. It did force NeverDie to pull his probes off the line, but of course he's not going to be able to come back over here and kill the medevac just yet. Oh boy! Blink Stalker's blinking forward. Oh! And that is just a sour end to what was such a good harassment move by ESCGoOdy. Now let's check the income tab real quick. We see that ESCGoOdy is actually significantly far ahead in this, and he's tacking on more barracks. So it's a little difficult to say just what kind of a composition we're going to see here. And of course, also the Mobius reactor is being researched now. Possibly, we're going to see some ghosts. That much is certain, but whether or not we see some nukes is a completely different thing. And nukes would be good for putting the Protoss army out of position, and if a Terran can use enough nukes at the same time, it will totally confuse their opponent while simultaneously obliterating them. And speaking of obliteration, it looks like we're going to see this, this Warp Prism is trying to get in and do some harassment somewhere. The question is Goody aware of it? Not quite. Here we go. Warp in of everything, Dark and Templar, accompanying a bunch of Zealots, going into the main. And now we see that the main force of Goody is actually out of position. He can't really take care of this, and he's losing a lot of workers from all of this. Here we go, and there's no detection here just yet, but now there's the scan, and it looks like a lot of these DTs could be taken down. Yes, they are. And now what is left here in the main is mostly a bunch of Zealots. Meanwhile, we got the main armies going toe-to-toe, engaging right here like crazy, and there it is, the GG from Goody. Immortals just kind of steamrolled in there and took down all the tanks that they could. That's all it took, guys. I mean, basically, we just had to see, what was it? We just had to see Goody pull his Hellbats out of the way for just a moment, and that's basically how this game ended. So this has been Breaker. If you guys enjoyed what you saw here, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. That would be to the right of the screen. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.